Welcome to our pre-festival Hugs Through Shrug episode.
Creative.
I'm Kathy.
I'm Mary, and Hugs Through Shrugs is a charity that supports moms whose kids are battling cancer. And we're laughing because
it's been a long time since we did this, and we stink at it.
It takes us 20 minutes to get started, and we're in our studio. Oh, we didn't say that it's not so funny this time.
Oh yeah, we're not in Newport.
Where are we, Kat? Really not in Newport or Rhode Island. We're back in Martinsville, New Jersey, in our headquarters, and the air conditioning in here is very loud, so we had to turn it off.
Yes.
And we feel panicky because we know it's going to heat up in here.
Right? And
really
we'll
fast.
both probably be a pound lighter by the end of the episode.
Which is okay.
And that's okay. We're good with that. So, especially if we have to keep doing it over and over, we could, evaporate.
Well, that would be good too.
Yeah, we're good.
We'll look very thin at the festival.
Yep.
So this is August 2023, and New Jersey Sheep and Wool is coming up in September 9th and 10th, I believe it is this year.
Yep.
And we wanted to give any of our subscribers or anybody who's searching for New Jersey Sheep and Wool, hopefully a little heads up about what we're going to be offering this year.
Right, what we're going to have. Also, we just wanted to reiterate very quickly, this is our video newsletter. Like, we are not trying to be a podcast per se. So if we're not doing a podcast, like Arne and Carlos, they do them like every week or, whatever. We're just going to be doing video newsletters a couple times a year just to keep you guys updated on what we've changed, what's new, where we're going to be, how you can help us. And because we are constantly changing, we have to with, we had COVID, we don't have COVID, et cetera, et cetera. Things change all the time. And like I've said before, we are willows and we bend.
We are resilient. And aside from very successfessly not becoming YouTube sensations,
Yes,
which we never wanted to
we're
do.
good at that.
But we do need help spreading the word. We're very good at not being noticed. So to the 350 of you out there, thank you so much. But we do need help spreading the word. And we have been very busy, and we could fill you in a little bit on that. But if we ask you to subscribe, the only reason is, from a YouTube standpoint, if enough people subscribe or like our videos, you're already subscribed, the 350 of you that we're talking to. But anybody who stumbles, thank you so much. But the likes also help.
Right.
So if there's a family whose child has cancer, or, if your sister's child has cancer and you're just researching in a way to help support her, we want those families to reach out to surprise the mom of the child with one of our Shrug Hugs. We did have a mom reach out just 2 weeks ago from Texas. Her child is battling cancer. He was diagnosed in May, had brain surgery in June, and now has 18 months of chemo, I believe it is, to go through. And she asked. We had another mom reach out to us, and this has to be through our collaboration with Arms Wide Open and other charities who we ship nationwide to through. It could have been Momcology. They also share home addresses with us. But somehow a mom out in California thanked us for the Shrug Hug. Her daughter passed away in the spring, and it was a 3-page letter that she wrote us.
So nice.
And our Shrug Hug made a difference.
Right.
And it's from the wonderful volunteers who help us. Kath and I work a lot, and we have to wear many hats. So a lot of our makers, as you could see behind us, we have lots of Shrug Hugs, but lots are going out. And you know what, Kath? Here, maybe I will insert this because we don't really want to move the camera, but I will leave a little video here of all these packages that are going out this week, and all these that we have. So I'll insert that for you guys so you can see without us getting up and moving the camera. We ship many. We have like 15 here that are going out by the end of this week. Right. We ship and ship and ship, and our makers are making, and they're all back here too, the Shrug Hugs, to a couple of hospitals where we have a charity contact person. Like Izzy Foundation is the best because they have a room that's just for the cancer families. So we know when we send a care package, like well, that's behind Kath here. Kath, maybe grab one of those, which if you've seen other episodes, you've seen this, but here's some. We have a stack that are ready to go. And the Shrug Hugs get packaged like this. We do still have some blanket sweaters in stock. The bigger ones are here. Those are our old style that were like a 30 by 55 inch squarish that they can unlace the blanket sweater and use as a small throw.
Right.
So when they're in the hospital, we still send those, but mostly now we're shipping to home addresses. We have, I think exactly, there's 18 here going out this week to homes. Those moms don't need blankets. They're home.
Right.
And we want this to be a gift that's just for them. And Kath, you actually came up with the weighted from our experiments.
Well, right. It's like a weighted wrap. Because when we were trying to figure out how to use, we had bought the knitting machines and we wanted to see if we could use some of our yarn on the knitting machine, but it was coming out really, really heavy. But, I had it over my shoulders at home while I was working on it, and it felt like a hug. And I mean, that's what we are. We're hugs through shrugs.
It's that anxiety blanket
yes, it's
concept.
like the weighted wrap.
So we're really looking for weight, which is why we use
like
these
those weighted
bulky ones.
Afghans. It's like a therapy thing to have that weight on you. And when I took it off, I wanted to put it back on.
So then I made one. I Tunisian crocheted one quickly because it was. You had a good workout that day trying to work those bulky yarns on the machine.
It was tough.
And it's like, this isn't going to work because that's just not fun. But we go right back to our old standby Tunisian crochet, which makes a very heavy fabric by nature.
Right.
And big hooks, so we could get them done quickly.
Yep.
Kath, can you please put this? I know it's crunching, and we don't like the way that sounds. So the weightiness is what we're looking for. And we could get into more of that. We have some samples to show you guys, things that we're going to have at the festival.
But really quick, we wanted to talk about City by the Sea.
Well, that's going back to our last episode and how busy we've been.
Because that's where we kind of left off last time.
So let's start with a very positive. Kath finished her sweater.
I did. I can't wait to wear it.
It came out so good. I am a big fail. And
ready for Rhinebeck.
Once we got, I will be. That's my goal. After our festival, I'm going to get my sweater done. But I haven't touched it. But we came home so excited about City by the Sea. We got an entire yarn line. We have 11 colors. And we did a combination of our postcards from Newport and our Gilded Age Mansion colors and consolidated the information into a little card. These are $30 skeins. They are at Knitting Needles in Newport. And Michelle has been very supportive and helpful, and all of our yarns in person are always in her shop, Knitting Needles, Newport, 555 Thames Street. Michelle's phone number, Kath, can you see it on the paper?
Oh, yes. It is 401-841-5648.
Michelle is always willing to ship any of the yarns we make. She does not have an online yarn shop, but please call her. She's very helpful, and you could purchase these through her. So we're going to show you.
And if you remember, this style yarn was the yarn that we chose to hand dye to make sister sweaters for Rhinebeck. And we loved working with it so much. That's what inspired this yarn.
It's an Aran weight. It's got this great bounce.
Yeah.
Takes the dye really well. And we went to Michelle and said, look at our sweaters and look how these, look at this yarn. And this is a single skein. Most of our yarns are doubles.
Right.
So this is single, and this is a $30 skein.
Right.
So we'll quickly show you how nice they came out.
Okay. So this one is the point.
So the point is a section in Newport that the historic homes that are registered are located. So that's a neighborhood in Newport.
And this is Marble House.
Alva Vanderbilt's Lilac Fantasy Bedroom, if you've ever taken the tour. Thank you, Kat.
This one is St. Mary's Church,
where Jackie and John Kennedy got married.
And here we have Autumn in Queen Anne Square.
So this has oranges and golds, and Queen Anne Square is so beautiful.
Yes.
In the fall when they have their pumpkins set up for the pumpkin patch. to raise money for Trinity Church, and it's just stunning.
Yeah, we had done an episode where they were filming
Hocus Pocus.
Hocus Pocus, and there was a lot of that was fall. It was beautiful.
It was
Oh,
so nice.
so nice.
That episode is
We
on our...
love that. Blossoms on Bellevue.
Yeah. Lots of hydrangeas and beautiful gardens all over Newport. People take such pride in their gardens.
And we have the elms.
The elms, which if you hear banging, I'm having some work done upstairs in my home, and I'm actually making a little mini reading room, garden room, where Kath and I can knit.
Almost similar to the conservatory at the Elms, which is
That was
why
my-
we picked out these colors.
Love the conservatory.
Okay, Just Jackie.
Inspired after Jackie Kennedy's wedding bouquet.
We have Cliff Walk in Winter.
Which we've
is one of my
done many
favorites.
times until a chunk of it collapsed the day before Eddie came
Oh, yeah.
2 winters ago.
And then we couldn't do the big walk. Typical. And then we have, another one of my favorites, Rough Point.
Ugh.
Love the colors in Rough Point. Might be my favorite.
And you want to talk about supportive. We sell our shawls,
sold
our
quite a
Gilded
bit.
Age shawls in
Yeah.
in Rough Point, right there in the museum shop.
It's been really good for us.
And we did an episode. Is that? Oh, I'll let you finish those.
So
Kath.
2 more. The Breakers. And
Inspired after Alice Vanderbilt's color choice for the family crest.
beautiful. And this last one is Belcourt of Newport.
Now, our Belcourt of Newport shawls that we make really come out nice. We don't put any gold in the shawl itself. We use a certain thread that has sequins, gold, just in some of the fringe, because the music room that's inspired by, it's like a
Well,
Blue?
like this similar type of blue, like one of the blues in here.
And
We would go a little lighter and a little darker, but it's in here.
and they call that blue something, and I can't remember what
me
it is right now.
too. There's a special name
It'll
for the
pop
color.
in later. But it's got these blue walls, and Carolyn Rafaelian, the new owner, the Alex and Ani, the former creator of Alex and Ani, bought Belcourt. And to honor her, they stamped her monogram
Yes.
in the wallpaper in a pattern in gold. And you really don't notice it unless the light hits it a certain way. So
Right.
we just wanted subtle pops of gold
Right.
in the fringe. And we do have a sample of our Rough Point Ocean Drive weight,
Right.
which ties in with how we lace the shrug hugs. I think I'm going off order of our notes. We felt very professional making our
no,
notes.
because we did City by the Sea, and then the giveaways. We didn't mention the giveaways. We could do that
we'll
when
do
we talk
that
about
next.
Yeah, and then lacing a shrug hug.
So
that's where we're at.
also, our shrug hugs are 20 by 60.
Right.
It's very fast to make, and it's been a very popular change that we made because we really do get many donations coming in the mail, and we have 2 that just came recently that we are going to show you. But 20 by 60 is like a shawl, and it does fit. You could see this is 20 by 60. So it's almost a small shawl. So it does give the mom, if she wanted to unlace and use it as a small shawl, she could. These are 20 by 60. This is Rough Point. I was dyeing last week, so it's not quite finished yet. But we make these shawls on the knitting machine, and we drop the stitches, make a nice drop stitch pattern, and then we dye it in the same colors from our Gilded Age yarns. And when we turn it into a shrug hug, you bring it around as if you're wearing it like a shawl,
up or
which
down?
this one is.
Right. See how it goes around your neck?
We're gonna demonstrate how we lace them, but you can convert any shawl into a shrug hug, and we hand dye the yarn that we crochet a very long lace, and we put glass beads on the end for these shawls. They're $120, and we lace them closed so they arrive in the package like a shrug hug with instructions. You can take it out, use it as a shawl with a shawl pin, or drape it over your shoulders and worn over like a tank dress in the summer. This is a cooler fabric. It's not super warm or fuzzy like our Bellevue Avenue weight, which is has an alpaca in it, a baby alpaca, which is a little bit
And
warmer.
it has a bit of a halo.
But you can easily use this as like a summer weight poncho. So any shawl that you have made, and Kath came up with the idea too, at Sheep and Wool we'll have one on display, and we're hoping to record from Sheep and Wool, so we'll add this. You could even take a triangle shawl
Yep.
and drape it and lace it, or, you know, secure it here, and it would stay on.
Right, because we'll be bringing Breezy Hug for sale. The yarns that we call Breezy Hug, and the sample is a triangle shawl, and we can have a lace then and have a demonstration there for you to show you. You can also do it with a triangle shawl.
Absolutely. And that would, especially if it's fringed, how nice that would look.
Well, and again, you can wear it two different ways. If you lace it closed, you'll have the point come in the front, or you could just simply twist it, and then you have, you know, like a short or like closed wrap.
Yeah. Or
Without a
even
pin.
even with our Gilded Age ones, especially this weight, the nice summer weight, if you spin it around and drape what's, you know, what we intend is the back,
Into the front.
it drapes almost like a cowl-y
Yes.
look in the front, and then the fringe, we lace our Ocean Drive ones from the bottom up, so the fringe is all on both bottoms is lined up, and then it just, there's a bow and the lacing and the fringe just goes
In the
across your
back.
back.
It's very dramatic.
That's a very nice look
Yeah,
too. So
it's a
it's
great
very
look.
versatile. And
Yeah.
when we did visit a Skein Yarn Shop during our Block Island weekend, which is our last episode, we did spin it around. We put them on. They wear better than they look on a dummy, but the style itself, people were really happy to learn of all the things you could do with a simple rectangle.
Oh, absolutely.
So that was a lot of fun. Now maybe we could get on track with our notes, because the kits.
Right. Well, do we want to do the lacing really quick? Because we could do the
could.
demonstration really quick.
So when you buy one of our Kitten of Cakes that we're going to talk about in a minute.
Could I have the phone? I'm going to film you.
Oh, the lacing? No, you could film me doing the Tunisian.
Oh, okay.
Because this is, information's on the website, and it's easier. They don't really need
Okay.
video, I don't think. But maybe we'll put a video in the... This isn't typically how we do it. You would take your finished 20 by 60 panel, lay it right side facing up.
Right.
Shape it like a horseshoe, so it's sort of like the shape when you wear it. Starting about 12 to 14 inches down, depending on how stretchy your fabric is. You're going to line up your bottom. This is Tunisian crochet with our Grace colorway kit. You could count the simple stitch bars and make them totally even, but for the sake of time, I'm just going to show you. You would just make a little edge, little seam part here, poke your lace through, poke it through on the other side where you want to close it. If you had a pin, you could just stop right there if you wanted to. We lace these closed with typically gold ribbons when we ship to retreats and support groups and places, like when all the moms have the same. The gold ribbon is the Pediatric Cancer Awareness Ribbon. So we try to include a gold ribbon for the moms who know. And September is Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month, so you'll see a lot of go gold for pediatric cancer. So you're really lacing it like a shoe, just crisscrossing, back and forth. For the Gilded Age shawls, like we said, we crochet beautiful laces with the hand-dyed silk yarn and put the glass beads on the bottom, and we lace all the way from the bottom up and enclose the whole thing. But you could see it's just like you would lace a shoe. Oh my God, it got snagged. See? And crisscross again. And just stop when you have enough to make a nice bow. We get these ribbon laces, this was Kath's idea too, on Amazon. We were crocheting all the laces until we both started getting arthritis in our pointer finger knuckles. It hasn't gone away yet.
No, it's like we now both have matching dented fingers.
Some people say we don't look alike, and we just show them our arthritic knuckle
look.
and say,
Here it is.
Anyway, so this is a little. So you tighten it up. It's hard to do it on the dummy. And just lace it. And my contractor's knocking on the door. So, and he doesn't wait. So hold on 1 second. We're back. And that wasn't the contractor. That was the dog groomer. Dog number 1 looks like a beautiful princess. And dog number 2 is now out getting her special day. So that'll take about an hour. So hopefully Kath and I will wrap up. There's an electrician. There's a lot going on here. Hopefully he won't knock. Anyway, lace. And Kath's great idea with these are ribbon shoelaces. And you could get packs of them. So we have all kinds of colors. So if you ship a Shrug Hug to us with yarn you purchase elsewhere, if you want to donate, we have all colors that will match. And they stay laced because they're meant to stay laced in a shoe. So your kits that you get come with a lace.
Right.
And you purchase from us.
It's a pretty ribbon. So it's nice. It has a sparkle in it.
It's not even. I'm going to ignore it because I would typically undo it, but this was the challenge today. So our kits, we will be bringing these to the festival.
Yes.
Also, we're doing a giveaway.
Right.
You want to talk about the kit or the giveaway?
Let's do the kit first.
So, because it kind of covers both.
Right.
We make cakes that look like this. We wind these ourselves. We have yarn, acrylic yarn, made for us in our charity colors. Now this one we use a lot of the time for Momcology because this is their colors. And we have 2 retreats coming up for Momcology in October. So our makers who are making for that retreat are using these colors. This is our Hope colorway. And we get the yarn shipped to us and it's on these gigantic cones. We wind the quantity needed for a Shrug Hug, double-stranded. We wind them ourselves. Disclaimer. Every now and then, one of their factory knots might get by us. We typically try to cut them out. If we run out of one cone and switch to another, and we do a tie for you, we will do a knot, not a super tight knot, and leave you like 3 inches of tail. So when you're working, you can unknot it, retie it where you want it to be, and weave in the tails. So that'll be one of our joints. There are some times when we're winding 2 strands where one might be a little looser than the other. It does not happen often. Occasionally it does. You can either ease in the slack or cut it and tighten up one or the other. So, you can adjust it. But please be kind. It takes a long time to wind one of these.
Right.
And we do that all ourselves. So that's Hope. And we have Faith. We will have Faith available. And each of these kits comes with a 19 knitting needle, because we really do encourage the chunky, bulky hug feel. So the chunky weight yarns. You get a free needle or a free crochet hook, and it would be a Q hook, which is what you'd use for our yarns. You get both the knit and crochet pattern in with these cakes, and our giveaway is these needles.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have the? Well, I guess we don't have the packet. They'll be packaged up with patterns. So we're going to show you real quick. When you knit with our kits, here is a Shrug Hug made with the Faith colorway. And then here is a Shrug Hug crocheted with the Faith colorway. I don't have a Faith cake in here right now. And then we also are winding kits with our Grace colorway, which is this in Tunisian crochet. If you were to purchase Grace, they are knitted on 15 knitting needles that you would have to provide your own, or a P crochet hook. So our crochet pattern is a double crochet. So here's Grace in crochet. Here's Grace in knitted. Let me switch. Here's Grace in knitted on your 15 knitting needle. And the Grace kit also comes with the Tunisian crochet pattern.
Right.
We can't say enough good things about Tunisian crochet.
Right.
And
it's a really nice, we say this all the time on the episodes, but it's a really great fabric.
It's a great fabric, and it's super fast
Right.
to get these done. So if you wanted to Tunisian crochet this shrug hug, which it's only 33 stitches, and you go, I think we're doing 73 rows. That's how fast you get it done.
Yep.
And we do have S ChiaoGoo hooks available. I think they are $15, which is a little bit cheaper than anybody else.
Right.
But if you purchase yarn from us too, like if you wanted to buy the Tunisian hook and a cake or one of our hand-dyed yarns, we discount 20% off of the $15 everyday price tag that we have, which is still less than other people.
Right.
And we love Tunisian crochet so much, we put together little kits.
Ah.
Yes. So, we have brought bargain bags in the past, leftover inventory from our yarn shop that we closed like 12 years ago now. And we did a lot of fundraising selling those bargain bags. Cotton was not a huge seller, but cotton does have a purpose. So we put together these kits, and you could make a little Tunisian crochet washcloth with the cotton. So for $5, you're going to get a hook, practice yarn, because you don't want to practice with cotton. There's no stretch and very little, I don't think there's any bounce really. So practice with this little ball of yarn and the link to the video. And you can make
It's a great washcloth.
We will have lots of cotton. If you buy this for $5, or the little skeins are going to be $5. And then we have some bigger hanks of cotton
Right.
that we don't have Tunisian crochet patterns for, but you can knit or crochet anything you want with them. But $10 cottons we'll have too. Now, we wanted to demonstrate we're not crocheters, so we want to make sure our lingo that we're using in the pattern makes sense. So, do you see, Kath?
We have a lot of stuff.
We do, we have a lot of stuff. I'm going to have to do a
pattern?
demo. No, maybe I left it upstairs. I'm going to show you how to do the border. You see that there's a little border, and then you turn your work, and you do simple stitch, and then you end with the border. If you can make this tiny washcloth, it's the same exact concept to make a shrug hug.
Wait, this is like a little mini shrug hug.
It is, and it's a square. So,
So
see, like,
if you can do this,
ooh,
you can
look,
do
that would be a
this.
tiny shrug hug
Yes.
right there. So we want you to understand how to do the border.
do you want to open that and just do it with
I will actually pause the video
Okay.
and grab, because you're not going to be able to see it with that little hook.
Oh.
So let me just grab. Okay, we're back. Now the good thing about stopping periodically is we boost the air conditioning, so that's helping us, although I am starting to sweat a little. Now this is Tunisian crochet with our Grace yarn. It's double strand, it's a sequin and a metallic held together, and I'm using the S hook. So Kath is going to record what I'm doing, and I'll insert it here. But Tunisian crochet is really easy. It's like 2 stitches. So all you're doing, and our video is more in depth about this, but the stitch has a front leg and a back leg, and you are just doing your forward pass by inserting the hook in between the front and back leg and working to the end of the row. Now I'm going to do like a little 5-stitch little mini washcloth when I get to the end. So this is your forward pass in between the front and back leg, and just pull through. Insert, yarn over, pull through. Also in the tutorial, like we said, is how to make a bear cape, and you will learn decreases in there too. So let's say I'm doing a washcloth and I'm finishing where I'm doing all the simple stitch, and I'm about to start the border. Now when you're beginning the washcloth, you're going to have your foundation row, and then you complete that and you have your border. But you get to the end of the row, and the hardest part of Tunisian crochet is seeing where the last stitch is, your last bar that you're picking up, which lines up with these, and the edge stitch is in between these 3 strands here. There's 3. You can feel them more than see them, and you insert the hook, and you pick that up, and it creates a nice edge. You will learn that more in the video. So let's just reverse pass now. Yarn over. With chunky yarns, we just yarn over, pull through 2. Thinner yarns, you yarn over, pull through 1, and then pull through 2 for the rest of the row. But at the end, let's say this was my last stitch. Let's say this is my washcloth. You're going to slip stitch bind off to start your border. So you just do this and pull through both. I just bound that off. Do that, pull through both. So I am binding off the stitches. And same thing with the edge stitch. Go in between strand 1, 2, and that third one back there. Keep this uniform. So now I have bound off all the stitches. Chain 1, turn your work, and then when we say, I got a lot of work here because half of my stitches are still on. When you look at the top of your work, you see the loops. You're going to pick up the back bar of the loop. Normally in crochet, you're picking up this whole stitch. But if you do that, it leaves a gap between your border and the main body of your washcloth. So just look at the top where you slip stitch, bound off, and just pick up this back bar. So that's just a little clarification, because when you're at the festival, okay, Kathy, you can turn that off, but I will insert that.
Yeah, I always think of it as V's, so you're just picking up the back part of the V.
Yeah.
Because they're all like V's across, so you're just picking the back part up, not the front and back part of the V. You're not going like underneath. You're just doing this one.
So at the festival, when there's so much going on and you're eager to visit all the other booths, you will have this overview of what we're talking about at the festival as a reminder.
Right.
So that's our Tunisian crochet kits. Now getting back to the giveaways with our 19 knitting needles. When we first started the charity, we were lucky enough to get a lot of these needles, but they came with a terrible, you get what you pay for. It was a plastic, oh my God, it was so rigid, you couldn't even straighten it out. We clipped those off and we made these. When you're working with chunky yarns, a lot of the hooks, even our Tunisians, our Chalgus, you can see this is what they use on an expensive Chalgu hook. So we're looking at that and I'm like, that looks like an air hose for like a fish tank. So we went and bought 500 yards of air hose and made these ourselves. If they fall apart, we just crazy glued this on for you. If they fall apart, just add a dab of glue, jam it in there, let it dry, and it's perfect.
Right.
And they really, people love these. All of our volunteers who use the big needles who are knitting, they work really well. So we're giving those away with patterns. Obviously, you'll get the patterns for using our yarn, but we also included 5 patterns for yarns you can find in big box stores like Michael's or Joann's. So to thank you for subscribing or watching, anybody watching our video, you can email us your mailing address and we will mail you for free the knitting needles. Now we're planning on giving them all away at the festival. So if you watch this prior to the festival, email us because we want you to get them first. Maybe we'll put a few aside just in case YouTube subscribers reach out. But we probably are going to have about 150 to give away. We haven't counted them yet, but we've been very busy making needles. So what have we done since our last podcast? Created an entire yarn line.
Right.
Been making knitting needles and other things. So let's go through what we have here. This yarn in this first Shrug Hug, available anywhere Lion Brand yarns are. This is Lion Brand Scarfy and Lion Brand Homespun, double-stranded on your 19 knitting needles. and the shrug hug pattern for your 20 by 60 is included. Now, sometimes you might run out of yarn at like 57 inches. With these yarns, we take into account the stretch. So knitting stretches. So you don't need 60 inches to get a nice size shrug hug. Sometimes they get too long because they are heavy. So keep that in mind. If you measure and you have 20 by 56 before you start your border, we know. So that came out really pretty. Scarfy and homespun. The next one is from Joann's. Their K&C, or Knit and Crochet Alpaca, held with one strand of Lion Brand shawl in a ball, so that you'll be able to feel them at the festival, but that worked up nicely too. So we already did the guesswork. Every time you are creative, and like when I made the green and blue shrug hug for the Texas mom, you have to figure out your formula. How many stitches, how many rows, and it's especially hard to get your 20 or 21 inches. You don't really want to go beyond 22 or 23 because then it's too hard to get your arms out. You know, this drapes down like you see in our Block Island episode where we had the shrug hugs on. If it's too wide, it's hard to get your arms free from under the fabric. So 20 to 22 is ideal. In all these, everyone's gauge is different. So if you're really tight and you're getting like 18 inches, it's still okay, but you might want to add a few stitches to your particular shrug hug. So the next one is Caron Crystal Cake, held with Loops and Threads, which is the Michaels brand, Ecolux. That came out nice too.
It did.
And that's one
so
Caron cake. A lot of these yarns, you only need one skein because like Shawl in a Ball has a ton of yardage, and so does this Crystal Cake. And the last one we have is...
two more. We have two more.
Do we?
Yep.
Loops and Threads. Oh yeah, the chenille. So this is Lion Brand Landscapes and Hometown. The Hometown was really nice. It has a nice sheen to it. It's the purple one. So that is Lion Brand. Both of them are Lion Brand. So you could get those probably in Michael's or Joann's. And we don't have a Hobby Lobby close by, but you could probably get them there. Now this is a single strand of Loops and Threads chenille home. And I know that they want you to use like a 15, but you can definitely use the 19. And I went into Michael's and they have all this chenille, and I'm like, what do you do with that? This was an experiment. I really like how it came out.
So soft.
So soft, so drapey.
You just want to hug it.
It's really amazing. So we can't say enough about the chenilles. I was wrong
really
about
nice.
that. So that's a single strand if you don't want to work with two. Or like, so now let's segue into helpers. My sister-in-law, Carol, who taught me how to knit, who lives down in Landfall, North Carolina, which is in the Wilmington area, has been, as always, an amazing helper. She has put together volunteers to help us. She's got friends. When I was in Landfall, John and I went to visit Carol a couple months ago, and I met Leslie, Claire, and Betty. Such nice ladies. John and I, it was a big rainstorm. We hopped off the plane, had to check into our hotel, and like raced in. I did not get to spend as much time with them as I would have liked, and my goal is to get down there and really sit with these lovely ladies and get into more of the charity info and to thank them a little bit more for what they've been doing. They've been cranking out shrug hugs for us, and Betty has her church group helping. So that is a lot of help that we needed coming from Wilmington, North Carolina. And when we receive their shrug hugs, I like to ship them to the North Carolina area when I can, when we receive home addresses in that area. These ladies are doing Lion Brand homespun, single-stranded on 13 knitting needles. And I think it's about 50 stitches, maybe 53 stitches. And it's all knit, just garter stitch. So if you want a great way to get started and you're used to using tiny needles, a 15 is or a 13 is not too challenging.
Right.
Most people are using like 6, 7, 8 needles. So to go up to a 13 is an adjustment.
Right, but it's a lot smaller than a 19.
It is, and it also still gives an adequate, cozy shrug hug.
Right.
So a gigantic thank you to
Yes.
our Landfall ladies and my sister-in-law Carol for pitching in from the South.
Oh,
And-
also, while we're talking about volunteers, also Shirley's.
Oh, yes. So Shirley sent us a beautiful shrug hug. This is Hope's. I have Hope's. So let me show you. Our friend Hope that we've talked about in the past has been cranking out. She's a beautiful crocheter. In fact, I should show you what she made us for Christmas. But here is double crochet in one of our yarns. I believe this is Hope. And I'm going to pause the camera because we have to show what
Surely.
Hope made us for Christmas last year. So hold that thought.
Okay. Okay.
In our charity colors, look what Hope made. This is a master crocheter. And we keep this here in our studio. And we have
So beautiful.
pictures
I
of
almost
some of the
wanna put
moms.
something
And
behind it.
yeah,
so that
oh,
you
that's a
can
good idea,
see.
Kat.
Look at that. It's just amazing, isn't it?
So Hope has been our
Look at that.
test crocheter and
Just beautiful.
helping us with the yardage. But oh, it's
The edges. The
Oh,
edge along the edge. It's just so,
this
gorgeous.
is just amazing.
I don't know if you could see
That's a good
it.
idea,
It's just
Kat.
so pretty.
So thank you. Hope.
It's just
We've already
amazing.
thanked her, but just beautiful. We have met the most amazing people doing
Yes,
this charity
we
work.
always do. And like when we go to New Jersey Sheep and Wool too, we always have such a good time.
Yeah, we're not going to do a ton of work at this festival.
No.
We're going to be doing a ton of talking.
Yeah.
So we're going to be doing our giveaways. We're going to be demonstrating Tunisian crochet and just really taking an opportunity to enjoy all the people who love yarn and knitting and crocheting like us. We love to be
And
with our...
we usually get a bunch of people who come back and see us each year, and we're always so grateful and happy to see them. We have people who bring shrugs too,
Yeah, they stockpile and bring
things.
them on
So
that day.
we're so grateful for that.
So Shirley made us this beautiful, and this is how you ship them to us, 20 by 60. This is perfect. I don't know what yarn Shirley used, but it is weighty and it's got bounce,
Yep.
and it's weighty, and it's amazing. So 20 by 60.
I don't know if you could see it, but there's like a little sparkle in this yarn throughout.
it's
Really
lovely.
pretty.
And Shirley actually crocheted a chain for us to lace it closed. So thank you, Shirley. Shirley also crocheted a ton of laces for us.
Yep,
Because when we have, whether it's the ribbons, and they have a lot of colors, but they don't always go. Sometimes they're a little
Right.
off. So we do have makers making 44-inch chains for
Mm-hmm.
us, and we will use those. And bear capes. Shirley sent us a bunch of bear
yeah, a
capes
bunch.
too on our website in prior episodes. We need little capes. If you noticed in the care package from the beginning that we ship to the hospitals, they have a little bear for the child who's hospitalized, and they wear little courage capes. And so we do need the capes too. So
Yep, and those patterns are on the website.
yeah, we're trying to put as much as we can on the website. Not a strength of ours, but we do our best. So what else, Kath?
Well, just really quick, we mentioned the Chowgu needles. We are going to have them for sale at the Sheep and Wool in several sizes. So that's going to be the N, Q, and S hooks that we'll have that day.
Yeah, and all a little bit cheaper than you would get them elsewhere.
Right.
We really just want to encourage people. The hook that comes in those cotton kits, it's a great hook. Now, if you are learning about this through the video and you just are curious about Tunisian, use any of your crochet hooks. Ergonomics don't really work. I wouldn't love this one because this little divot could kind of get in the way. That's like a comfort grip. A smooth hook. The boy hooks, the BOYE that you can get at Michael's, they're pretty smooth.
Yes.
Use a bigger one if you can, but those are smooth. And you're only doing, maybe 20 stitches, I think, for that washcloth. So if you're using like a smooth J hook, maybe you want to do like 30 stitches because you want to get about an 8-inch by 8-inch washcloth.
Right, so for the washcloth, you don't actually need the Tunisian wire.
You don't, because there's not that many. So any
Right.
crochet hook that will accommodate 20 or 30 stitches in practice, or take one of your crochet hooks, watch our tutorial with our little practice balls, put like 10 stitches on, 8 stitches on. You just need a few to chain, pick up the back loop, and then practice your simple stitch like we showed you before. You don't need to do that with a lot.
And if you want to put it down and you're not using a Tunisian, you can just put the little rubber stoppers on each side of your
Oh, that would work.
you know, to hold them on, like shove it on and put the stopper on the end.
Yeah. And it won't slide off.
So it won't slide off.
So
but
again,
also, so we didn't mention, I think, what else we're going to be having some of our hand-dyed yarns.
oh yeah. We have some of our Breezy Hug, Fuzzy Hug. We have a few samples. I think we might have some Warm Hug. We have not been doing a lot of dyeing yarn because we're so busy dyeing yarn for knitting needles, the Newport inspired yarns. We always keep a full display set up at Michelle's. The Knit Your Trip yarns, the mini skeins that we do for Michelle, that's all time consuming. And the shawls have been very busy. Unlike most yarn stores, Michelle's busy season is the summer because that's the tourist season in Newport. So she, from end of May until middle of September, that's her busy time. So that's what we've been really stocking her a lot.
Right.
So we're really just bringing some of our yarns that we had from last year. Yep. And we've been busy dyeing shawls too, which took up my whole week last week. You got me on a good day. I don't have blue hands today.
And then after the festival, so that when we do our Rhinebeck episode, which we will,
that's next.
Mare and I will be wearing our Rhinebeck sweaters.
Pressure's on. It's only the end of August, and we do have to finish getting ready for the festival.
Right, that's
but once
the priority.
September 11th rolls around,
yeah,
that's my focus.
Yep.
So, fingers crossed.
Yep. So we have a lot going on. We hope to see some of you at the festival. I think we want to try to include like a little blurb of our tent and.
Yeah, we might try to do a little mini episode from the festival.
Yeah, or maybe we'll do a little bit of filming and tack that into our Rhinebeck episode.
We'll do our best.
So we'll do our best.
Another hat we wear.
Yep, and this is our video newsletter. I hope you're enjoying our video newsletter. That's our new term.
Yeah, we keep saying it because we keep forgetting what we call it.
Well, because we'll call it a podcast, but it really isn't.
You know, I have to include a picture. Can you bring Promise over here? Can you reach Promise? So we have to show you our mascot who sits in here with us. My son got this for us for Christmas last year. Promise is our life-size, sorry, Kat. It's a good thing we're wrapping up now. Our life-size sheep.
So if I ever can't make it for the video newsletter, this is who will be sitting in for me.
So we named him Promise because we promise to give our all and do our best and reach as many moms as possible. So anybody who comes into our studio, our volunteers come here and they spend time with Promise. Tish made Promise a beautiful, colorful necklace, and we're going to have to switch to fall colors. So Tish is going to have to get a little busy on a fall wrap for Promise.
They're so beautiful. Look, they're all different and they all have fun.
So funny.
Decorated.
We have fun in here. So that's Promise.
Oh.
And I
Promise he's going to diet.
He caught my eye. I don't know where my son found that, but I hugged that thing. Best Christmas gift ever. I don't think I've been this happy with a gift since I was a kid.
It's so funny because my daughter, I don't know where she got it. She just came home at the mall, and it's an alpaca, and it's like this big, and it's a super puff. Like, she just gave me an alpaca. It's not that big. And she took it back. It's in her room. She's like, Mom, I was thinking about you. I was thinking about me so much you brought it up to your room.
Take it back.
Yeah.
She wouldn't even know it's gone. So that wraps up our episode. And thank you for bearing with us. And I just got a little sweaty. Not too bad.
Yep. We made it through in one piece. Only lost 2 pounds.
And Maya's not even done being groomed yet. So.
Yep. We're in good shape. So, all right, everybody. So we will see you next time and hope to see some of you at Sheep and Wool.
Thank you for watching. And if you want
you for your help.
Giveaway, if you want these and the patterns that we talked about, reach out to us. Email is info@hugsthroughshrugs.org because sometimes I forget to check YouTube for messages. So info@hugsthroughshrugs.org and we will get those in the mail to you.
Okay, see you next time.